Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I healed SIBO. Now, if you're new here, I've been managing ovarian dysfunction for at least about 3 years, probably longer, but I have known that I have ovarian dysfunction for the past almost 3 years. And as many of you probably know that are here, ovarian function depends heavily on your gut health. And when I was diagnosed this ovarian dysfunction about 3 years ago, conventional medicine basically failed me, and so I found first acupuncture and Eastern medicine, and then I later found functional medicine. And functional medicine is where I really started to get excited and really experience amazing healing. When I started going to functional medicine doctor, I did what's called a GI map test. And if you haven't seen my GI map test video, make sure you go and see that. But essentially it's a test that looks at your digestive system and it looks at everything that is going on in there. You can see markers of inflammation, different pathogenic bacteria strains, viruses, parasites, worms. If you have leaky gut, if you have SIBO, it can look at so many different things, and it's a very comprehensive and in-depth test. And I highly recommend that you go and you find a functional medicine doctor, that you at least work with a medical professional, and that you do not try to treat SIBO by yourself. I tried to DIY it years before I went to a functional medicine doctor, and I can tell you that I struggled in vain for so many years when it just took like 4 months once I started seeing my functional medicine doctor to deal with my gut issues. 4 months, it was probably more like 6 months to deal with my gut issues because the problem was so extensive. So from my GI map test, we found a lot of things, but basically we found that I had H. pylori, I had SIBO, leaky gut, and inflammation happening. So the first thing that I did with my then functional medicine doctor was take care of the H. pylori. If you don't know what H. pylori is, it's a bacteria that burrows into your stomach lining and essentially lowers the acid of your stomach, and that can in turn cause SIBO, because part of what your stomach acid does is it kills off pathogenic bacteria. So when your stomach acid is lower, it allows for more pathogenic bacteria to overproduce. We usually all have these pathogenic bacteria, but like when they overproduce and there's too many of them, that's when it starts to cause a problem. So the first thing that I did with her was to treat the H. pylori, and we did that with a supplement that had mastic gum and then this really expensive African tea called Matula tea, which I don't know, in hindsight I would have got that tea again because it was very expensive, and I don't know if it's really necessary because in other functional medicine circles I've seen mastic gum can be enough, but some functional medicine doctors also like to prescribe antibiotics for H. pylori because it's very, very, very difficult to get rid of. It's highly, highly contagious. So if you have it, your family that you live with probably has it, because like if you're sharing drinks or even using the same bathroom, it's very contagious. So your family has to be treated as well. Anyway, we went through that protocol, and then when I finished the H. pylori protocol, I went ahead and I switched functional medicine doctors because my first one did not really know what to do with the SIBO. I had really, really bad diarrhea like every day, every single day. Nothing that she was trying to do was working, so I had to move on to another functional medicine doctor that knew how to deal with this, and they put me on a very targeted, very intense targeted gut protocol to deal with SIBO. Before I get into this, please, please, please make sure you're working with a functional medicine doctor. This is not medical advice. I don't suggest that you take what I took just because I took it and I have SIBO, and maybe you have SIBO too. Different people have different bodies that respond to things in different ways, and it's important that you're working with a medical professional to deal with this. SIBO is no joke, and it can make your life miserable. I know that, but I am going to share with you everything that I took and why and what each thing is for. Now, this gut protocol was about 4 months for me, for my case. It can vary in length depending on how bad your case is. It's usually from about 2 to 6 months, I believe. Now, the first phase is to treat the infection, and the second phase is to replenish and heal your gut. So the treating the infection phase is very, very intense. I was miserable for most of it. I felt very sick for the first 2 months, and that can happen. People can react that way because it's called the die-off phase, where the bacteria are dying off and they're releasing sort of toxins in your digestive system, and it just kind of wreaks even more havoc. So I did feel worse for the first 2 months, and then once we got to the replenish phase, I started to feel better than I've ever felt before in my digestive system. It was amazing. And while I was doing this gut protocol, I was doing something called the Egg Quality Diet by Amy Rao. Diet is just as important as the supplement protocol that you do. If you are eating crap and you're doing the supplement protocol, you're not going to have the same results that I did. The Egg Quality Diet that I did is loosely based on the AIP diet, which is the autoimmune protocol diet. It's essentially a diet designed for people with autoimmune issues to identify their food-based triggers, and it depends on your particular case. My functional medicine doctor usually recommends either the AIP diet or low FODMAP diet in order to help with SIBO. I didn't do the low FODMAP, I just did the AIP. The AIP diet was better for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into the supplement protocol now. So for the treating phase, I took several different supplements, and a couple of these are blends of different herbs, and these are all from my doctor's supplement line, so I will try and find something similar and link them for you below. The first one that I took, and I took this twice per day, was a blend of caprylic acid, black walnut, pau de arco, and oregano oil. Now I know that caprylic acid is really good if you have candida, so is black walnut, and pau de arco, I'm not 100% certain, but I know oregano oil is really good good for treating pathogenic bacteria in the digestive tract, also in the urinary tract. Oregano oil is really amazing. So this supplement can kind of deal with candida overgrowth as well as help with SIBO. And then the second blend that I took was a blend of berberine, bitter melon fruit, and banaba, and I took this twice per day. Berberine helps with pathogenic bacteria and I believe parasites as well. So does oregano oil, also helps with parasites. Bitter melon fruit I think helps with stomach acid. Pretty sure, and banaba I'm not really sure. But berberine can also help with blood sugar issues. And then the last supplement that I was taking was serapeptase. Serapeptase helps to break down biofilms of the pathogenic bacteria. So if you didn't know, sometimes pathogenic bacteria can create this biofilm. It's like this housing that protects them, and they like to hide inside it while you're taking antibiotics. And then when you finish taking antibiotics, they'll come out of the biofilm. If you're a woman and you're taking antibiotics for a UTI and you feel better while you're taking the antibiotics, but then immediately feel like you have a UTI again as soon as you stop, that's because the bacteria were hiding inside the biofilm while you were taking the antibiotics and they came back out again when you stopped. So serapeptase helps to break that biofilm down, and that can help to really get rid of the bacteria that are wreaking havoc in your digestive tract. The serapeptase I took once per day on an empty stomach. I was also taking a digestive enzyme. So the digestive enzyme I would just take before every meal. It just helps you to digest and takes off some of the pressure while you're going through this very intense treating phase. It can make you feel really awful. The digestive enzymes really help a lot. So that protocol I did for 2 months. And then when I was finished with that, I went to my functional medicine doctor and I told them, I'm still feeling so bad. I'm still having diarrhea all the time. And they told me, it's okay. We think you've been on this enough. Just for my specific case, this is again why I recommend you work with a functional medicine doctor or a naturopath or somebody who knows what they're doing with gut health. And they decided to go ahead and put me on the replenish phase. And that's where I started taking probiotics and prebiotics. I took L-glutamine twice per day. So L-glutamine is something that helps to heal your stomach lining and it can help if you have leaky gut. And then I was taking another blend, which was a blend of licorice root, marshmallow root, slippery elm, and aloe vera. This just helps also with the gut lining, help to replenish the gut lining. And then I was taking also BPC 157. Now this is a bit of an area of controversy in the United States. The FDA has not approved the use of a lot of peptides. BPC 157 is a peptide, and scientists in Russia have done a ton of research on peptides. They have poured massive amounts of funding into peptide research. Their studies are very different from ours in the United States. They have different ways of doing their studies. They have different standards. And so in the West, we like to act like that means like their studies are not reliable as ours. But I don't personally believe just because there are two different methods that they can't both be just as good. And they've seen a lot of really great benefits from using peptides in medicine. So that's like the whole spiel with that. The FDA is not very open to peptides. BPC 157 is not approved by the FDA. I think it has a lot to do with pharmaceutical companies and the vested interest they have in keeping people ill and not actually curing people from disease. BPC 157 is a peptide used to help heal the gut. Now I took this, I believe, twice a day. I took it once a day for the first month, and then for the second month I took it twice a day. And with peptides, you kind of cycle them, and again, you need professional medical help when you are taking peptides. It's just best to have the medical guidance when you're taking them. And that's it, guys. That's the protocol that I went on to help heal my gut. And again, I'm going to link everything that I can in the description below. And I'm also going to link a website where you can find a functional medicine doctor near you. I hope that this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask them in the comments. I always try and respond to comments as much as I can. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I do a lot of structured videos like this about gut health, fertility, and women's health. And then I also share about my healing journey and just my daily life in vlogs. If you are not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me over there, and also on TikTok. And thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.